Hi everyone, thanks for tuning into my channel, Huub Hildenbrand Guitar Academia. Today we will also have a lesson on tonal harmony or like tonality, just in general. And we talked about a lot of things like the tonal framework and the different functions in minor and major and like scales and scale tendencies. And today we will talk about branching out or moving away from a certain tonality which we established somehow. And there's also a PDF down in the description below. You find a link where you find a PDF for this lesson. And you find these informations which which I'm talking about today. You find them there also in written form, so it would be good for you, I think, to have this as a kind of a reference. But also it supports this channel, so it would be great if you do that. Thanks. All right, so we were really busy with different kinds of approaches, also to think about what is actually tonality. What is tonality? That is like this kind of a definition. It's a note where all others gravitate to. So we have like one kind of a center of gravitation. And I think that's actually the most important things to know and to understand how this is actually this concept of tonality is really like it's really like very, I mean, how this concept of tonality is actually established throughout the different cultures, because it's in all. I really think like in all cultures of this globe, you have tonality. I mean, you have the harmonic series, and as soon as you have any note, even just one note, with this harmonic series, you also create tonality. So you can't escape that. So I think the main focus really is to think or to study the different ways, to have like this idea of like European harmony, Western harmony, where we talk about chords and functions. Yeah, so these functions are actually like always establishing this tonality. Functions actually requires kind of a tonality, kind of it functions in a certain way, and in music means it has some kind of dissonance or some kind of feeling of home base, of resolution. So like this energy to move actually comes from this idea of there is a tonality, there's something to move towards. So we have this in Western harmony, we have this in raga music, of course, in Indian classical music. It's always like this one kept tonic, the sa is always there. And we have also the Turkish makam music, where we have a sort of a basic tonality, and we have like kind of a temporary tonalities or plateaus which are happening, and we can analyze this from in a way from two different standpoints. We can think about how does this other temporary tonic or this scale or this chord really functions in the main tonality of the composition, of the makam or of the improvisation, and but we also can take a look at how this tonality or this temporary tonic or tonality is created. Yeah, so how you actually hear that this what is not the final destination, the overall tonality, that you have like a chord or a melodic fragment which has like a temporary root. So how does this small thing functions by itself? Okay, so my main approach, my main goal is to really look at at tonality, like tonal music, which, as I said, which is really prominent and really like in all cultures, and which also is a way of seeing how all these different cultures of the world are connected, because like tonality is a very, I mean, it's maybe the strongest kind of connection between maybe also rhythm and this, but like as soon as you have like melody or harmony or something, like you have tonality, and then when you look at tonality, you can analyze, or you can you can look at the different cultures and look how they deal with that. Okay, so the main focus is really to understand tonality, to be in a certain key and really understand what is possible in that key. How can I stabilize this tonality, and how can I maybe weaken it a bit or go a little bit to other directions, to other notes, but I mean, you really look at the material which is in the key, in the tonality, and there are all possibilities, of course, like what you can do in this tonality, how you can maybe also show different notes without losing the tonality. Okay, we get a coffee first. Now the next, or the other, you can say the other way, the opposite way, not to look at, okay, this is tonality, you always have this keynote, this tonic, is the other way is to look how we can actually move away from that, or how we can branch out. What kind of possibilities do we have? What kind of a maybe more a systematic approach to what kinds of degrees can I have by branching out? How far I can move away, and are there like different different degrees of losing my tonality? And when I say I'm losing my tonality, then I always say and always mean I lose my tonality of that moment, or of the piece, or of the composition, or the overall tonality. It depends, of course. But I actually my losing a tonality is more like shifting a tonality. Or another note or another chord gets comes more into focus of being like a tonic, or like the point of gravitation, or gravitational attraction for all the other notes. that's why actually when we branch out, when we go out to a different tonality, we are not dealing with any new kind of concepts or material, like tonal material, like different whatever, different chords, different tetra pentachords, makam, different raga, whatever. It's only that we, in a way, we can say we transpose the whole thing of tonality and put it somewhere else. Yeah. So what we learned from tonality, from looking at one tonality, at one key or mode or rag or makam, it's actually all there is. It's just that this whole thing can be like transposed. And then, of course, we can look at how we come from this to the same here, but in another key, and how we can approach that. Yeah. So this way of approach. So the path or the connection sort of these two tonalities. That's also an art in itself, of course. There are a lot of concepts and ideas, and we will not talk about that actually in this lesson. I think we will never talk about that here in this Guitar Academia, because there are just so many possibilities, and every new note, every new chord which is not tonic actually opens kind of new possibilities to other tonal like centers, to other tonics. So there are so many possibilities, and for me they are more naturally evolving out of what is already there in a certain tonality key. Okay, so let's go into the different stages of moving away, branching out. You have this PDF, and you have these little little illustrations, which I think they're really good, like fitting for these three different graduations of moving away. The first is like tonicization, and this tonicization is actually just that a certain note or a certain chord in the key, in the tonality, gets like kind of very much importance of almost being a new tonal center, a new key center. And this is in Western harmony. This is done with like these different functions of secondary dominant or augmented sixth chords, where you have actually you add kind of chromatic, which gives you mostly like also a leading tone, or like a note which really gets you. I mean, a little bit like fighting against the tonal framework of the actual key, and then you have the possibility to generate power or force to open another door, and then you go to another place. But with tonicization, it's not that you then are at a new place. It's just that you maybe you just got a postcard from a different place or something like that. You just tasted that, or you just get a kind of a glimpse of that, and you still feel very strong that you're actually not moved very much. You're still there at in your home base and your tonality, and You just, in a way, you just emphasized something what is diatonic anyway, but by giving this a kind of a also like like more importance, more being. This gives this more like a function of being, actually, like a kind of a tonic for just a very short time, or it can be also for a longer time. But you while you are there, you feel, okay, that's a different color, that's a different, the tonality, the original tonality is actually a little bit weaker now, because we have kind of we look more into that direction and we want to go more there, but still you are kind of more centered basically in the tonality. So you're not moving from your chair, you can say. You're just leaning to the sides. And this can also be done by when you're in a purely diatonic modal context, for example. Yeah, you can actually be in a kind of like Dorian scale, and then you show the for example, you are in C Dorian, and then you show like this B flat major like Ionian mode, just in a melodic way. So you don't go to a B flat major chord. You just circle around this B flat as a kind of a new tonic, and this can also so also what I want to say, also the melodic movements without having any new notes, without having any alterations of the original scale or key, you can still have this impression of, now this is my like my tonic center, a tonal center for a brief moment, or just, yeah. So this you can either really have like this, in this case, the C Dorian mode or C Dorian tonality as very strong, and then have just this B flat Ionian thing just as a kind of a cadence function, which creates tension and wants to go back immediately to C minor, and you do that. But you can also really shift to B flat major for a while, and really gives this more like a tonic, like a tonal center function. So you have like different graduations, you can say. Yeah, one is just you go out of the tonality and create tension to go immediately back, but you can also, in a certain, only in just using like melodic movements, like melodic motion, you can go to this other chord and like in a way like melodically confirm it as a kind of a new tonal center. But then you have to, of course, you have to resolve it back, and you have to go back to C minor, that it's not already like a complete like shift, which then would be like a modulation, actually, a modulation without changing any notes. This I will talk soon here. Then we have also. By the way, there might be some things here on the page which I'm on the PDF which I'm not explaining, or there may be some additional informations. So down in the description there is a PDF, so you have the complete package. Okay, then you have regional tonicization or extended tonicization. And this is like the same thing. It's like, instead of just having like one chord or one note as being like that's your new kind of a tonic, like, or temporary tonic, we should say, in a way. You have actually like a whole region, maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 also chords in a harmonic progression. That's very common, where you show like a different key, a different tonal center, just for a progression actually. And of course then you go back. So it's not about just one chord. It's more like you have a sort of more chords belonging together in a certain different other key. Yeah, and this idea is also very connected with this centonization, with this, that's coming from actually. It was used very much, or still is used very much to, also debatable, used very much to describe Gregorian chant, the melodic development and the creation of melodic of melodies in Gregorian chant, and that's the idea of centonization. And this is it's like a patchwork. So what you do in Gregorian chant, you take like different like melodic formulas, which like it actually comes from literature, where you just have like pieces which are already there, and you combine them in a different in some kind of an order. In Gregorian chant, it's really like there are these typical melodic formulas, typical melodic patterns, and these you can just combine. Yeah? And if you take that pattern and then you go to that pattern or formula and then to that formula, which are also, these formulas are very connected with the different modes. Yeah, like Dorian, Phrygian, Lydian and Phrygian, Dorian, Lydian, Phrygian and Mixolydian. And that's also something what is very relevant for Turkish makam music, because that's actually something you are really doing in that kind of music. You really work your way through different plateaus, and on every plateau you really show this kind of a it's more or less temporary, but you, yeah, it's actually it's like a temporary tonic, and you show this mostly it's like an excerpt of the first notes of the whole scale, 3, 4, 5 notes, and also very often implies its leading tone. So you have a sort of like a plateau around this tonic or temporary tonic pitch, and this whole thing will be shown. Oh, okay, you have this sound. You do these also like melodic formulas. It's very connected also with Gregorian chant in a way, and then you go to a next plateau. Of course, these in comparison to Gregorian chant, you modulate much more. You alter notes much more, and you change like colors. Of course, much more drastic. But in a way, this sometimes the idea of this overall tonality, that you say, okay, this makam is now let's say like Hijaz, for example, whatever. I mean, it's like a certain tonality, a certain sound, a certain tonality, key. But when you play this makam, you're actually changing all the time also to other fields or other plateaus, which are not showing Hijaz, which at the end will make like a complete picture of a makam of Hijaz. But actually, it's also a bit like patchwork. These these little formulas, they've also really functioned by itself, and yeah, it's just one thought. I mean, it's actually really connected with European harmony, because there also you have these chord progressions, and every chord by itself has already also like a root, and very often like a kind of a confirmation of that root by having like a perfect fifth or like a major third or something like that. But I would say in European harmony you have much more functions. Functions always relating or want to resolve to the tonal center, or to other chords which then really want to go to the tonal center, to the main tonality. In the Turkish makam music, I have the feeling it's a little bit less like that. You have more like these plateaus, and they will add up to a certain kind of picture. But these you can actually use when you are at a certain plateau, which is not the actual key. You can also branch out from there. You don't have to consider too much the tonality of the makam you are just playing. You can really go away, and then the next plateau can really open a door to something else. It's just actually it's just very important that at the end you will come back to the tonic or to the key or the Hüjas makam. But the way how you do it and what kind of different plateaus and temporary tonalities you show, it's like it's very loose. Yeah, there are some things you have to do, and some things really work very well to confirm the tonality. But in a way you are more dealing with individual like plateaus, which are a bit more, you can say, a bit more vague in relation to the tonality. Also because you have maybe less notes, you know. In European classical music you have more like a chord, which also implies a whole chord scale, which is then really related to the tonal to the tonality. But yeah, it's actually hard to describe, and one thing also maybe I have to be a bit maybe more humble about my how I hear it, how I feel and see it. Of course, it's valid for me. But maybe like somebody in the Turkish makam tradition, a musician would just hear it very different, or feel it very different. That they are maybe on a different like plateau, which seems for me quite loose and more distant from the actual tonality. But they hear it very much connected to that tonality. So. Yeah, it's of course. I mean, it's all kinds of things you hear. They change you. You know, they change your way of hearing, and your awareness shifts and gets altered, and it's always like a process. And like when you really are into like one thing, like one culture, you're like really like a raga musician who really all the time learns this Indian raga music from the father or the mother, and the only thing what he or she tasted was like this raga. Yeah, so then of course it would. The musical experience will be very different than to someone who yeah, studied different kinds of music and I mean, what I found for myself, that when I was in India, and there were some occasions where I actually played a little bit like more jazz, when people want to hear, okay, what are you doing, and then I thought about what can I play here, and then I very often I played a little like a jazz standard or something like that, and in a way I had the feeling it was for a lot of people, it was a little bit difficult to connect, because I think the awareness of these more dissonant and these harmonic vertical structures was maybe not so much there. Of course, as when you really study that and you are really in it, and you hear these chords and you hear the functions, the flat nine, and so the whole thing gets really exciting and clear, and if you're not into that, you might hear that completely different. So that's why what I'm explaining here also about, like, just in general on Guitar Academia, about other cultures and how I analyze that music. That's really like, it's also a perspective. Everybody has to acknowledge that it's not, you can't step out of your experiences, which are limited always. Okay, anyway, so we talked about this tonicization, regional tonicization, extended tonicization, centonization, and now the last, most distant moving away from the original key or tonality is a modulation, of course. And when we say modulation here, it means we really lost our sense of the old or previous tonality. Yeah, it is really like gone. We are at a new house, and of course we have to be a little bit in the house to get really familiar with the different things, and that we know, okay, there's a kitchen, there's a bathroom, and so on, and do I have a window, or where's my door out, and something like that. And then after a while, I feel home there. Yeah, I might come back to to my old apartment or my previous apartment and think, oh yeah, that feels good. But the longer or the more strong this new experience will be, the more maybe foreign the older one will get. And of course, in music, this is like, it's different, but it's the same. You know, I mean, you can't just say, okay, we are in E minor. Then you play like F sharp major, and then you do not feel like that's a new key. Of course, it's not in E minor anymore. But if you play the whole F sharp major scale there, it's like then you a lot of question marks will arise, and so how do I stay here? Is this confirmed as my home base, or how can I come back to my tonality? So in a way, it's like very vague, and maybe also bit disturbing, you know, to be at that more distant place. So also the idea of modulation is to bring you very easily and soft, I mean like very very nicely to the new apartment. I don't know why, but I just have this picture of you know, when somebody is getting old and can't really live anymore by him or herself at home, like very often, like the children brings that person into this place where these old people live. I don't know actually the English word now, and this is like a very very often for most people I think it's a very sad experience and very very difficult also, and it requires a lot of I think a lot of work to, and a lot of like informations and yeah, for this person that he or she will really feel good in a way going there. You know, you have to say, oh, they have a nice there's a green, it's green, they have trees there, and the food is very good, and there are nice people there, and there's a room where you can, I don't know, where's a piano or whatever, you know, and so it's like, and then, yeah, if you succeed, this will be like a kind of a more like a smooth transition. And that is actually the art of modulation, you know, bringing somebody from here to there and not like pushing hard. Of course, you can also do that. That's also like maybe also style, you know, like of course. Also in jazz, this is also happening in a way like quite a lot. Although sometimes you have to really look very close whether that's really like a modulation, which already like a shifted 2/5 or 2/5/1 is already a modulation. You know, I would say like very often it's just this regional tonicization. So you just are there for a certain time, but not yet really lose your key. So if you would just stay there and end there in this new place with just a 2/5 or 2/5/1, it would be a bit weird. It would be a bit strange. So, but of course, it's like you can't have this law that the modulation should always be smooth. You know, it can be whatever. I mean, it also depends what you want to express in music. But you can say this smoothness of modulation is kind of an art. You know, to say, okay, where I want to go, to which key, so how can I go there? What kind of devices can I use there? And one very frequent device, of course, is to use something which is like a chord or a note or something which is common to both. I mean, to the original key and to the next key. So there's this kind of a transition where you go out of your old original key, and then you go to a chord, which also either is completely in that key, in the original key, or which is like a chord which is more distant to the key but functions in the key. Yeah, like a secondary dominant or a kind of a diminished chord or a minor subdominant and major or whatever. And but then you at a certain moment you will confirm this chord as functioning in the new key. Yeah, and this is always like with modulations, it's always about looking forward and looking backward. So you can analyze something looking forward. So you think, okay, I'm in the old, I'm still living in my old place, and I want to go there, and oh, it looks as a door out of my room. Yeah, that's my room door. and this is closed, and I can open it, and it belongs to me in a way, to my room. And then you can also look at from the other side, like backwards. When you already went through the door, you can look at it backwards and say, okay, that's my door. It's my room. It's a new room, and that's my room, and it's part of that. And when I can go through the old key also, maybe also in the backwards motion or movement, but that's all. It's always like you can certain chords which happen in the transition between two tonal centers. You can either analyze from the old original key or tonality, or you looking back and analyze it from the new tonality. Yeah, that makes a good transition, actually, a smooth transition, because you are it's a connection. It's a real connection between two different things. Although, just in general, if we talk about all these different, like branching out, moving away, we also have to admit, like, we have just a limited number of notes in total. Like, our tonal systems are limited in notes, in different notes. So we can also say everything is connected anyway. You know, we can only go away from things just. We have only 12 houses to be, you know, in our village on the equal temperament of the 12-tone equal temperament. So everything will be connected, and we can look out of the window and see certain houses, and another window we see other houses, and in a way it's all connected. All right, these were like a lot of metaphors and pictures. Maybe it was nice for you to get a different view on certain things. I don't know. It was more like associative what I was talking here. I was not really preparing much besides that PDF. Although I will change this PDF maybe also, so when you download that, it will contain much more information, which I was also talking about now. But let's see. It will be a surprise. All right. I hope you like these lessons here on Guitar Academia. If so, please subscribe to my channel and press the bell button to get notifications if a new video will be released, which is the case here every week. And also you can go in the description below. There is a link to my website, hoophildenbrand.com, and then the Guitar Academia page there. There's a button on top where you can donate. So to support this channel, to support my work here, and to make sure that I have enough food to eat to continue the whole process and putting out more and more things and topics into the World Wide Web. There's a lot of more stuff waiting for you. So I would really like to share more with you, but of course I also have to survive. All right. So that's it for that lesson. Stay tuned and thanks for watching. My name is Hoop Hildenbrand.